Hello and welcome to the show where the objectives are made up and the points don't matter. I'll be your host, Archon Dow. Alright, so I signed up for a tournament and it's been a while. The last one I went to was before the new season called Arcs of Omen. I took my Ravenguard, the last tournament I went to, and I want to take them again in the Vanguard Spearhead because then I can bring all my Phobos stuff and get a couple extra special rules. And I know that that's going to be gone in the summer, so let's take it for another ride. The thing about Arcs of Omen is the points dropped, and so I'm actually adding suppressors to the list, which also means I've got to paint suppressors. I just spray painted them. I've got to texture the bases. It's Wednesday evening right now. Let's hope I can get this done before Saturday morning. So basically Friday night. Anyways, let's look at my list real quick. Arcs of Omen, I'm using the elite slots. So I have 6 elites, 3 of the sneaky robots, and then 3 full units of Reivers. That's 30 Reivers. 2 of them have knives and 1 has the Carbine. I do have 1 troop unit of Incursors and then 1 Eliminator unit that I'm running as Fusel, last Fusel, 2 of them, and then 1 of the guy that lets him move, shoot, and move. 3 Impulsors, and then like I talked about, the suppressors. And so let's talk about the 4 characters that I've got in my list. I'm bringing Kayvaan Shrike himself. I've got a captain, regular captain, the lieutenant, who's actually in Reiver armor, and a librarian, all Phobos type stuff. So Kayvaan Shrike, he does his own thing. He's kind of got his own kit going. The captain in Phobos armor, I've given Master of Vigilance, so hit rolls of 6 in melee will deal a mortal wound in addition to normal. And then I've given him the Knight's Blade, which is a 2+ to wound against non-vehicles. Kind of like a poison 2+. -3, 2 damage. So I'm kind of kitting these out to be a little more close combat focused. I mean, they won't hold up against probably something dedicated close combat, but this is what I got. Librarian. Oh yeah, the Knight's Blade is a Vanguard Spearhead thing. Relic. That's pretty sweet. So the other thing is I want to use up these relics while I have them. Because they'll undoubtedly change in the new book. Or the new edition, whatever. Librarian in Phobos. Okay. Imperium Sword is his Warlord trait. And so he can reroll charge rolls. And if he charges, he gets +1 strength and attacks. And that's pairing with the Shadow's Touch, which is +3 strength on top of his 4. So it'll be at 7. So if he charges, he'll be at strength 8. -4 AP and 2 damage. But if he casts an obscuration power the turn that he charges, or just the turn, like the psychic before, then he ignores invul saves. So that's pretty cool. Obscuration powers are just going to be Hallucination and Tenebrous Curse. Hallucination gives a -1 leadership, which also Reivers do, so... or Reivers are -2, which I always forget to use. But it would be cool if I used it once. So, last is my lieutenant. Ignore the model. It's not... I mean, don't ignore the model. That's exactly what it is. Lieutenant in Reiver armor. This guy has the Champion of Humanity. So, if he is in engagement range or within engagement range of a character, he adds 1 to his attacks. And he also adds 1 to hit and wound rolls if he targets a character. Now, that's going to pair nicely with the Oppressor's End, which is a Ravenguard relic, a relic of Ravenspire, if you will. So when he fights, he makes 1 additional attack with his weapon, and if it's against a character unit, the damage of that weapon is damage 3. So it's only -2 AP, +1 strength, so he'll be strength 5. So against most regular characters, he'll be, if a character's like toughness 4, he'll be wounding it on 3s, and then the +1 will put him wounding it on 2s. So that's pretty sweet. On the charge, he'll have 7 attacks if he's against a character, or 6 attacks if he's not against a character. And then, of course, the 3 damage against the character. That's pretty cool. So those are my characters. I'm hoping that I can get something done with them. I'm thinking maybe Shrike can move with my blob of suppressors, and then each one of these characters can ride in one of the impulsors with some Reivers. And typically what I do is I take my 30-man Reivers and I combat squad all of them. So they're 5 mans each. And then I put like a bunch of them into impulsors, move those up, get them out if I need to, and then take the ones behind and get them into the boats, tanks, whatever, but after that. So I don't know if I've won a game with the Ravenguard yet. Maybe like a 500-point game or something funny like that. We'll see how far I can get with this. If I win one game, I'll be pleasantly surprised, and I will be there to have fun and hang out. So here's how it goes. Well, I'm back, and I got my suppressors painted, and I even had time to build a display board. Real quick, the secondaries that I always take secure or sabotage. That one's awesome, hilarious, fun, thematic, and can be an easy way to score points as well. And then I either take shock tactics or behind enemy lines, just kind of depending, because sometimes it's easier to steal an objective away, or sometimes it's easier just to deep strike in the back. I found behind enemy lines to be easy, but I did lose 2 of my games and I only won 1, but I scored decently. So the biggest problem I found myself having was scoring primary and keeping others from scoring primary. It's just not easy when you have all these Reivers because they just do no damage. Let's be real. I tried Oaths of Moment a couple times. It's okay. I mean, it's a low score kind of for me. And then I played against Knights and I took Bring It Down, of course. And I ended up killing some Knights. Highlights of my army, or what does well: the suppressors are obviously great and they fit in the Vanguard Spearhead, so double awesome. And then the Invictor Tactical Warsuits, those are great as well. They both provide the firepower. The impulsors, I mean, I really enjoy playing with the Reivers and impulsors, and I don't know that they're the best thing, but if I start going down the rabbit hole of what's better to put in this list, this is what I have to work with for a Vanguard Spearhead, and I really love the theme. So what I'm trying to do is see if I can make it work with as many Reivers as I can and just whatever else. My game plan from the start is using my impulsors to get my dudes ferried across the board and get them on objectives so I can secure or sabotage those objectives, get those points early, then just kind of hold on and score behind enemy lines and stuff. That's my plan right now. There's some cool stuff you can do with Reivers, like shut down a OBSEC, but the problem is you have to give them that in the command phase, and if they're in a transport, then you can't give them that, which also means you can't get them to go very far and shut down objective secured. So let me talk about my games. My first game was against Leagues of Votann, so the Space Dwarves. All of my games were fun, and I haven't played this list since like December. I might have played it once in January for fun, but the last time that I took it to a tournament was in December. I played 2 guys at the tournament yesterday that I also played in December, which is crazy because it's like there were 44 people there. It was great times. So I played a Leagues of Votann. I kind of just was getting back into the groove of things in that match. Luckily, my opponent was super nice, but like half my army I hardly even used because I was just keeping them safe. But also the Leagues of Votann list was very killy, and if I had peeked out, I just would have lost everything anyway. So I was just kind of waiting for him to get closer. I had brought shock tactics for that one, but I didn't hardly score it because he didn't get up to the middle objective very fast. Probably should have thought about behind enemy lines with that one. I ended up losing that one by 1 point. It was like 82 to 81 or something. Great game, hilarious game, good times. So the thing is, like 81, I don't feel terrible about scoring 81. I just need to figure out how to outscore my opponent. So goes into game 2 where it was Dark Angels, and it's the Terminators that are always transhumaned, so nothing can wound them on better than a 4. And they're just tough to kill. He had just tons of Terminators. He had a couple Dreadnoughts, and I ended up taking those out a lot easier than the Terminators. He had a little 5-man Terminator deep strike in my background, in my backfield, and it took like my whole army just to take those 5 out. So again, the problem with the Dark Angels matchup is all of his stuff is so killy in close combat that I can't just throw a Reiver unit forward to grab an objective from him, because one, they don't go far enough for me to shut down OBSEC and not charge, because I can't, because of the boat thing. Like I can't give them shut down OBSEC in the boat and then move them really far. So they have to be on the field, which means they can only move like 6 or advance, which is not very good. But if I charge them, I can normally get onto the objective. But if I charge 5 Terminators, they're just, my squad's gonna get wiped. So I lost the primary by round 3. He was on my half, and I was just scoring no primary. It was a game where I went first against the Dark Angels, and I was able to just shove all my troops up. I got 5 objectives capped with secure or sabotage. So he kind of, at the beginning, felt like he was on the back foot because I had started out strong with my secure sabotage. But as the game went on, he realized that I just didn't have enough power to take him out. And so I just kind of hid for a while, because a lot of people will bring it down against me. You can get 12 points if you kill the vehicles. So a lot of times I just try to hide the vehicles just to kind of deny those secondary points, especially if it's an army that I can't even kill them, but they can easily kill me. So the thing about the Deathwing is that they're really slow. So you can kind of, like I was deep striking in the corners just to get behind enemy lines, just stuff like that. My last game was against Chaos Knights. Really just a fun list and a good time, because it wasn't all of the baby knights, it was the big knights. And so there was like a Psyker one. Each one was completely different, and it was hilarious. He was dealing mortal wounds to them to give them buffs and running across the table. So that's where I realized I finally had grouped up all of my suppressors with the captains and the lieutenant, and they did a lot of damage, just way more than I thought they would. And then that's when my buddy, the guy on my team, Scott, came over and was like, oh yeah, suppressors are good. When he's telling me like that suppressors were good and that in Iron Hands, all of the things they can do. And I was just like, don't tell me that, because I want to keep the theme. I don't want to switch to Raven Hands, but I mean, who knows in the future what'll happen. But yeah, dude, it's all about the theme. So I'm just trying to make this work. The Chaos Knights, I ended up killing, I think all of them but one knight, and I won that one, scoring like 90 or something. And he scored, I have it written down, it was 90 to 85. And that one I took Bring It Down, and I got 14 points on Bring It Down. I did Behind Enemy Lines, which I got 14 on. Secure and Sabotage, I got 12 points on. And then I was able to pick up the primary. That one also had, that was one where if you held your enemy's objective in their territory, that you got 4 victory points for your primary. So I was able to claw back in the primary by taking out some of his knights and then deep striking in the back and holding his objective and stuff. Oh, and one more thing that I forgot to mention. So in my last game against Chaos Knights, using the secure or sabotage secondary, I blew up 2 different big knights with 2 different secure or sabotage explosions. That was pretty awesome. And then in my second game against Dark Angels, I had one of my impulsors explode, and almost my entire army was close enough to it, and my army took 21 mortal wounds from that. Oof, it was brutal. I kept rolling really high on all the D3s. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. So I did secure my first win at a tournament with this list. Pretty excited about that. But yeah, I mean, the best part about the tournaments is just, I don't know, losing a couple games and then being down there with other people who have lost games and just having fun with it. That's really my favorite thing about the tournaments, is just having fun with it. But also I want to try to bring like a list I think is cool and just try to play it more and learn how to use it better. So if I were to look at this list, things that didn't really, like I said, the suppressors and the dreadnoughts are like the strongest part of the list. The characters I did not really use a lot. The characters I already talked about. I kitted them to be good in close combat against like other characters or just good in close combat at all. And I did not really use them a lot, and that's my fault. I did try casting powers with the Librarian, and I've got to say I strongly dislike psychic powers, playing with them and playing against them. I tried to cast like 3 powers and failed all of them, and it just felt like a waste of time. So that's my take on Psychers. Just abhor the witch, guys. Don't try to take Psychers. I mean, I'll try using him a little more, but I don't know, man. Psychic is like you either go all in on it or you just don't take it at all. Because if you have one, you're probably not going to deny to the guy who has like 1 billion. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on the matter there. I'll keep trying it out for you guys and let you know. With the Vanguard Spearhead, I have so few units to pull from that I don't know where I'm going to switch it up or if at all. Probably just need to practice it more for myself, which it's hard to find time. So, you know, if it happens, it happens. And yeah, I'm loving it, having fun with it. Thanks for watching and hanging out with me. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you later.